and welcome back. This is one of the videos that I really wish more people would see. Today we are talking about safety on the social dance scene. For some reason, there's something about social dancing, there's something about going for a bachata class or a bachata social or a salsa social or a kizomba social that suddenly street smarts go out the window. And I don't know if it's because we're in a sort of a community which feels safe, or a community where, we're dancing very close together and there's a lot of trust there, that we automatically assume that every single person in that community is an angel. It really concerns me and it really worries me. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of those concerns and how you can keep yourself safe so that you can have an enjoyable experience while not losing that street smarts that we all need. Before we get into the video, at least until December 2024, I am running a charity teapot donation. Basically, every long form video that I do, I'm going to come in here, pick out a charity name, and I'm going to donate 50% of the money made from this video to that charity. If you would like to include your favourite charity in the comments, just put in charity : and then the charity name, and then I will take that and add it to the pot. This one in particular, I only have one name in here, that was my own suggestion, so it definitely needs some filling. So in here we've got Doctors Without Borders. Again, help me out. All you've got to do is tell me a charity you wish to support and watch the video and the adverts, and then we're ready to donate. So getting on with the video, as I said, in every community there's always a couple of people that aren't the best or don't have the best intentions. Hopefully these people are weeded out and the community leaders can do something about it. But before that point, it's really important to have some street smarts and look after yourself and the people around you. The first one I'm just going to touch very briefly on, because Rasa the dancer has recently released a video on this exact topic, so you can go check her out as well. I'll link her video in the description. But she basically created a video which was talking about leaving your drinks unattended. I think it's very hard when you're social dancing because you get a drink and then a song comes on that you like and then you want to put the drink down and you want to go and dance. And that happens to me a lot, and I do. I put it on the side and I leave it to go have a dance. Generally speaking, I'm dancing near the drink and I always pick it up and I check the drink to make sure there's nothing in it, but in an ideal world you're just not doing that at all. To be safe, I will always say either leave it with somebody you trust and say, can you please watch this? And I genuinely mean like a close friend that you actually really trust, not just some person that you see on the social dance scene all the time. Someone that you genuinely trust, you can leave your drink with them. Alternatively, you're just gonna have to take the hit, drink your drink or lose your drink. Generally speaking, you wouldn't go to a club and leave your drink on the side and go and dance and then pick it up again. So why would you do it in a bar when there's a social dance? Just be careful. But again, as I said, I'll link the video down below so you can have a look. The other one that I really don't like to see is people going home on their own at night. I see this being done a lot, especially women for some reason. These are the same women that would not, let's say they were in London, in a London club, they wouldn't go home by themselves after clubbing all night. And yet it's 12 p.m, 1 a.m. in the night, and they are walking home by themselves from the social. There's a couple of mistakes being made. One is they're announcing the fact that they're leaving alone because they're going around and saying bye to everybody, but they're the only person saying bye. So they're announcing to everybody, I'm leaving on my own. And two, they are walking out by themselves. And then they're taking that journey on their own. If there's anyone dodgy on the social dance scene, you just announced to everybody that you're leaving on your own, and you just made yourself a prime target. The other flip coin is, let's say people didn't realise there isn't anyone dodgy on the scene, which is great, but you are actually walking home in the dark at night by yourself. And again, these are the same people that wouldn't do this if they were going home after a clubbing night. So why are you doing it after a social night? Please, please, please be careful. That comes everything from making sure you go home with somebody and making sure people know where you are, like you have Life 360 on, or you have your location settings on, or you're on the phone to someone that knows where you are on your journey. Just make sure that you stay safe. It's very easy again to fall into a false sense of security when you're social dancing. So just make sure you take the same precautions that you do if you are walking at home at night in London that you do anywhere else. London, yes, there are more people, there is more crime in general, but that is also because there is more people. That doesn't mean that other places are exempt from that. It doesn't mean that just because you're in a small little town that you're going to be safe. There are bad people everywhere, so please take care when you are walking home, even to or from places at night. The next one I'm going to talk about is getting lifts to dance practices, getting lifts to social events. It's quite nice to car share because it saves you money, it's good for the environment, and it also means that perhaps you can get to places where you couldn't normally get to because you don't have a car. This is great, but I would always assess the situation first. Is this someone that you know and that you trust? And again, really think about that phrase, know and trust. Just because you social dance with them once a week, every week for the past 10 years, it doesn't mean you know them. Just make sure that that is the case, and that if you have any hint of like, oh, maybe I don't know this person that well, or this person's a bit of a stranger, that there are other people going that you trust. Let's say if you were going to a social in a different city and one of the guys was like, oh yeah, I'm going there anyway, I'm driving, do you want to hop in the car? You would then be like, okay, yeah, that sounds great, let me just check if so-and-so can also come. If they're like, oh, I don't think so, or if they're a bit funny about other people coming with you, that's a red flag, that's a problem. But if they're like, yeah, sure, okay, cool, then, you know, you can start to trust them maybe a little bit more. But I would always take someone with you that you trust, who also would like to go and have a good time, but someone that you know has got your back. Don't enter any cars with strangers. Again, you wouldn't do this day to day. If you were just walking somewhere and it was someone that you passed on the street every now and then, or you just said hello or good morning to, or they were a neighbour that you never spoke to, but they were like, oh, I'm going somewhere, do you want to get a lift? Chances are you're probably not going to say yes to that. So why are we saying it in these situations? It would be a bit different if it was a case of someone had said in a group chat, I'm going to this social, I've got spaces in the car if anyone wants to join me, right? Because that person has opened up the car to multiple people. I'm not necessarily saying it's safe, but it's a little bit better than someone asking you directly, being like, oh, I'm going to this social, do you want to come with me in the car? Assess situations, just be careful. Again, I'm not saying everybody's dodgy, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't blindly trust everyone just because they're part of the same community as you are. Let people know who you're going in the car with, where you're going, be on the phone. If you have any reservations when you get in the car, just jump on the phone and just be like, yeah, I'm with so-and-so and we're going here, so that the driver or the person in the car can hear that you've said that. Again, it's just little things that help to keep you safe. And then finally, the last one I want to talk about is people meeting up in private places for dance practice. Now think about it this way, if you were going on a date with someone off Tinder that you'd been chatting to for quite a while, would you meet up with them in their home having never met them before? I really hope you're going to say no. So if someone's like, oh, do you want to come around for a dance practice, and they're not your best friend, I would always question that a little bit. I would, if it was me, my situation, I'd be like, sounds like a great idea. I really want to get some more practice in. I'd love to have a dance partner to practice with. But how about we just meet an hour before the social at the venue? Or if it's like a sunny day, or if it's not raining, we can be like, let's meet in this public park, which is one that you know is very public and one that you know well, and we can have a little practice. You've got your community space where you interact, and now you're taking that person out of that community space and meeting with them one-on-one. Any situation, as soon as you take that person out, you really need to treat them a little bit like a stranger, just for your own safety. Because you're meeting with them for the first time on your own. You have no idea what they're like as a one-to-one person. You've only ever seen them in a group setting. Make sure that that's a public place. Do things to keep yourself safe, you know? Don't meet them late at night at your house or at their house. Meet in a public place, assess the situation, assess them, see what their intentions are. Are they wanting to practice dance, or are they wanting something more? Just make sure that all these questions are really clear in your head before you start bringing people back to your house for dance practice, and then it ends up being something else. And I say this because this has happened to people. It's not nice when it happens, and I get some people that are very upset when it happens. So just protect yourself. You can't control what other people do. You cannot control the intentions of other people. I'm not saying you shouldn't date people in the dance scene, or you shouldn't ask them for their number and so on. And I'm not saying that's a wrong thing at all. You're more than welcome to date anybody you like. Just be careful about it. Treat it in the same way if a stranger off the street was asking you for your number. Do it in the same way. You wouldn't meet them privately. You would meet them publicly. You would let people know where you are. You wouldn't travel home by yourself at night. You wouldn't announce to everybody that you're leaving on your own. All these little things will help to keep you safe. Ultimately, that's what you want, a safer dance scene. The most important one here is anytime you ever get yourself in a situation which makes you feel super uncomfortable, the first thing you do is leave that situation. Leave it. Get up and leave, walk away, call somebody, get out of the situation, then figure out what to do about it later. Always think, leave, get out, sort it out later. The second thing to do in that situation is to tell your teacher. It happens way too many times where things happen in the social dance scene that we do not know about, and then we find out months later that it's happened to multiple people. But because nobody's talking, we couldn't have done anything about it. We couldn't have sort of nipped it in the bud when it happened or protected other people in the future. I pride myself on protecting people and making people feel safe. And if I'm not being told about potential dangers, then I can't do the best that I can do. Please, please, please make sure to go and tell somebody, tell your teachers, tell the person in charge, tell the event organizers. There's different ways that people deal with things, don't get me wrong, there are different ways, and there's different levels. Like, you might give them a warning, it might be a case of like, can you stay away from this person? It might be something even bigger, like if it's multiple offences, they could be completely banned. Or if it's really bad, you know, the police gets involved. But ultimately, like, if we do not know, like, we cannot take any actions and we cannot protect the dance scene. That means that means other people just like you. Now, of course, there's so much good to having a community. There is so much good to social dancing. And I want to leave it on that note because this feels like a very negative video, but it is just one that I wanted to create just to help protect everybody just a little bit more. But ultimately, like, dancing is a beautiful thing and the community is a beautiful thing. There's just unfortunately always one or two people that just make it a little bit more unsafe. And the sooner you can weed those people out, the better. Yes, it's great that you feel comfortable in the community, but just remember that this is a large group of people and there's always a range of types of people in that community. So please, please, please look after yourself. I've created another video which is kind of similar to this one, but it's about saying no, how to say no, when to say no. And I've got an entire playlist right here for you, which is basically all the videos that I wish that my students can watch. And don't forget about the charity teapot. Leave your charity in the comments.